What you are about to hear is highly classified. Hey everyone, welcome back once more to Zone 4. I am Brant Fowler, and I'm back with another Marvel Now #1 review, this time with Indestructible Hulk #1 by Mark Waid and Leinil Francis Yu, if I pronounced that correctly. And it's Mark Waid. Everybody knows that I'm a huge Mark Waid fan, so I had high hopes for this book. The Hulk is his book is always one that I'll be on it for a while, and it'll be really cool, really interesting, and then it'll get formulaic again, and it gets boring and stuff. So I'm always kind of iffy with Hulk, but with Mark Waid coming on, it was like I know it's going to at least be solid writing. So, and I am a general fan of Yu's artwork. It definitely has its place, and you can't use it for everything because sometimes it's out of place because he has a very distinct style, which does use a lot of cross-hatching and that kind of thing. But anyway, Indestructible Hulk. It's a new era for Bruce Banner, as it were. And this whole issue is basically him pitching himself to S.H.I.E.L.D. director Maria Hill. And basically, Hill has lost Hulk. Hill and Coulson have lost Hulk. They don't know where he's at. And they say they're kind of talking back and forth, and Hill says, he's certainly not going to find us. And then in walks Banner, and he's like, hey there, heard you in town, I'll have the pork chop. She's at a little restaurant, she's watching the clock, you see the tick 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 all throughout their conversation. And so basically, Banner has come to terms with the fact that there is no cure for the gamma radiation poison that makes him the Hulk. After all these many years of comic stories where he has done nothing but search for a cure, he has finally accepted that at least in current technology and current advancements, there's no cure. He is the Hulk. So now he's trying to figure out how to best utilize his time as Banner. Instead of whining about it, instead of expending himself trying to find this cure, he's like, what can I do to make this world better? He's angry that people like Reed Richards and Tony Stark, they're using their intelligence to win wars, to save the world, and he's using his just for selfish reasons, and he's sick of it. So he's pitching himself to Maria Hill. He's got all these inventions that he's been working on, and he's like, use me when I'm in the Hulk as a cannon, and instead of whatever, and just aim me at the right place, and then you set me up with this state-of-the-art facility so I can do my experiments and help the world. And not to spoil anything, but basically more or less, she does kind of take him up on it, and they try it out. Because she's in this particular town for a reason, he deduces this, and he knows why she's there, and that's why he picked this point to pitch to her. And so it's a very interesting concept. Mark Waid, he really shows Bruce Banner's intelligence throughout this issue, and his skills of deduction even. And it shows both the intelligence and both the power of the Hulk once he comes into play as well. It's a short scene, but he does come into play, of course. It wouldn't be a Indestructible Hulk. It wouldn't be a Hulk book without a little bit of action, right? So, writing, solid story. It's got me intrigued. I don't know if it's intrigued me enough to want to read it long term. It is Mark Waid, so I'm definitely going to give it a couple of issues at the very least. But it is an interesting story. It depends on what they do with it. Now, next issue they tease that it's going to be Indestructible versus Invincible, so it's going to be Hulk versus Iron Man, whatever that means exactly. So we'll see what happens there. As far as the artwork goes, overall, it's good. It's solid artwork. It's, you know, there are some dynamic pages, which I'll get to in a minute. And, you know, of course, you're seeing preview pages as I do this review. But there are a couple places where Yu tries to go too creatively with his layouts, and it doesn't quite work. Like this particular page, there's two panels kind of overlapping with breaking the borders. They're going out of, actually there's three. There's the top panel with this guy that bumps into Banner, and then Maria Hill's popping out of this panel beside that, and then you got Banner's head popping up over her. And the problem is, it looks awkward because the guy that bumps into Banner, his hand is over Maria Hill's face in the next panel, but her head's sticking out, and sometimes it's really confusing to tell exactly what's going on because of the layouts, and he overdid it, in my opinion, with these layouts. That said, there are some really beautiful pages and panels in this book, and specifically this double page spread where the Hulk comes into full play here. That's a stunning piece of artwork, and even just the crowd scene within the cafe, you know, it's really stellar work. So he just needs to reel it in a little bit with those layouts and try not to be too outside the box, because it gets a little confusing and it looked a little bit messy. But overall, it's a solid artwork, a solid story. You know, I wasn't blown away, but I was very intrigued by the concept and the direction that Mark Waid chose to take this title in. So, you know, for that alone, you know, I have to discount the art mistakes and discount because it's not like, oh my god, I've got to read this book. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. So try it out, see if you like it. I would recommend at least trying it out. Fans of good art, fans of solid storytelling, you'll like it. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that one. Be back with me next time.
This has been a Gonzo Goose production.